Wait, I don't know why it's let me try to turn it. It doesn't like that. Hang on, guys. We're trying to flip you around here.
There are people on there?
Yes.
2.
Well,
We're trying to figure it out again.
it's been a minute. 8 minutes. I don't know if it's going to let me flip the phone so you can see a wider pan of view. You're just going to have to sit really close to me.
We can back it up. Where's the mics?
In the house.
Nope,
You can't hear Everett.
Lies.
Yeah, you got 11 people on here. Guys, I'm trying to get to where I can see your comments. Just bear with us for a minute, please.
Yeah. We're working on it.
We planned to be out in the garage, but service did not want to work that well like that.
We ended up in the RV because we don't have any service anywhere.
And CJ's messing with everything. Sorry about the noise.
I don't know how loud it is, but I can't imagine that quiet heater putting off too much.
Can you guys let us know if you can hear him okay, please?
Check. Can you not see comments?
No, not on your phone. You get to the live part. Everybody says sounds good.
Awesome.
Good. Let us just get to your comments on his phone so we can see them. And then we'll get to cracking at some questions and answers. If not, then we'll just have you on camera and I can stay back here and ask you the questions. A little bit low, but they can hear you. You need to speak up a little, as always.
So I don't even know how to...
I know. You got about 40 people on here. It's fine. I'll just stand back here and read them.
What are they saying?
You have 43 people on here.
It's fine. What I'm saying is we got to get to a live one here so we can read them on here. Or are you going to stand back there?
I'm going to stand back here and read them on here.
Oh.
That's what I was saying. Fucker. Next event. We don't know yet. It's up for discussion. I can tell you so far that we'll be at the first War in the Woods in the spring. We plan on going to Uncaged because we always do that one. Cash Days at the Hill at KD, as always. Arm Drop Revival. That will be at the first War in the Woods in the spring.
Turn the volume down.
God love him. Can I see that, please?
Charles Lucy.
Okay.
Lucy, hi.
Yeah. Okay, we are in business. All right. So yeah, as far as next event, we really haven't decided. There's a couple coming up in April. I know Lake Cumberland is one that we wanted to go to because we missed it last year because we were pretty certain that the Havoc down there was going to get rained out, and it ended up getting rained out. So we were kind of thankful we didn't make it to that one. So we want to try to get down there because we were told it's our kind of surface. So hopefully Lake Cumberland is on the list for April. But there's a few other ones. That would be awesome for you to come to War in the Woods, Jericho says. Sorry if I'm saying your name right. Yeah, War in the Woods is definitely an experience everybody should experience. And that's why we go back. CJ says
Yeah,
it's
the
not
atmosphere.
his.
I don't ever do any good there, ever. But
Not
it's
yet.
like the atmosphere is awesome. So
Dig or Die. I think we went over that in our last video about Dig or Die. We had things scheduled this weekend with Allie. Allie does have an injury, and it is her birthday weekend.
yeah,
So that's just kind of where we're leaving it at that. If something happens and we change our minds or something happens.
honestly, it's looking like it's going to be a washout. I don't know if they're still planning on having it or not, but it's showing rain.
Yeah, but
what we're seeing anyway from here, showing rain all Friday evening and pretty much all Saturday.
And my brother lives down there by Charlotte, and he said that it looks like it's going to pretty much rain the whole weekend too.
It's not looking good. It's a long way for us to come for a good chance of poor weather.
Let's see here. Will we be at Southside Dragway? Yes, we plan to be on that one, at that one.
Yeah.
Opening day,
yeah,
definitely.
We'd like to be there.
So thank you for mentioning that. We did not mention that one.
Like to support that. Somebody going out on a limb and buying an old track like that, try to bring it back. Definitely want to support that one.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of tracks, I mean, everybody knows that backside is kind of where you want to keep it. So what about as far as, do you prefer arm drops?
I can't keep up with them. They're
That's
coming up too
what I
fast.
will read them to you, honey. So do you prefer arm drop over timing systems?
No, yeah. I don't want to. We don't run on a timing system. Like, we've actually wanted to go to a few races this season that we found out was going off the tree in the finish line. Camera or whatever, the beam, and like, I'm just not about that. I feel like it's too easy for what you have to get out. It's happened to me a couple years in a row, so I'll kind of refrain from doing that. I don't like leaving off the tree. I don't like using the finish line beams or anything like that. Now, some may say it's because I'm slow. Maybe I am, but
well,
I think it's everybody's
preference.
No, it's not the word I'm looking for. I'm looking for, nobody actually knows. Everybody thinks they know. I think I know what such and such is going, where I need to be, but nobody actually knows. If it gets out, everybody knows. Then, that's all you got to do.
I think some of the promoters probably do that too for lack of staffing, maybe.
Yeah, I believe that.
You think that maybe?
And it's easier. It's harder. You can't argue it. I understand why it's done.
Yeah. It's just your preference that if there's an arm drop going, that we would.
Personally, I'd rather leave off flashlight.
Yeah.
But arm drop, flashlight, whatever. Josh Robinson's got a pretty cool gig with his light set up. That was pretty easy to use. I mean, it was nice, and it's still off a light. It was perfect height to be right in my scoop, though.
Yeah.
So if I'm in the left lane, I got to stretch way out and smash my head up against the cage to be able to see it.
With Uncaged, yes, we do plan on helping out with the Power Wheels money from the racers again.
That's all.
I will help out with that. However, I am scheduled to work that day, and so I have to go to work. I will help gathering the money. I don't know if we'll be able to actually help with the Power Wheels event itself, but we will help raise money for that. CJ, have you ever raced at Onondaga?
Onondaga?
Yeah.
I have not.
Jasper's having a few events there this year.
I actually wanted to and was told I was too slow. And I decided not to make the trip to find out that I was too slow.
Well, after your last draggy leak, I heard that you are really slow.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, but so many people want to race you. So, I don't know. Yes, we answered the question about Dig or Die. Again, we originally had not planned on going this weekend. A few things have popped up. With Allie having an injury, not being able to do volleyball, but it is her birthday weekend. She's turning the big 18. And the weather looks really bad there, and it would be a huge expense for us. I'm not sure. I'm pretty certain that most of our crew cannot make it. And something you guys have to remember, our car's still not tested.
No, I haven't made a test hit in it yet.
Yeah, we went down to Lassiter, but we still didn't test.
We got 3 competition passes in it. So nothing's really, I haven't pushed any limits on anything. It's all just real super safe. I have no idea what the tires will hold because we made the change to the tires for last digger die. And I haven't made a test hit on them since. So I haven't really been able to push anything or find out any limits on really any of it. There's no timing in it. It's fat, and we don't know what the tires will hold. Pennywise Racing and Media, I still have a lot to learn, but I am adjusting and learning the fuel tech. Yes.
We have gotten lots of requests about Digger Die for us to go there. That too. I hope just to mention.
There's a ton of people that's getting a hold of us wanting to know if we're coming. Are we coming? Are we coming? Are we coming? And like, I thought it was put out there that we wasn't planning on coming to this one.
Several times, but if you are, please go and support the track and the event. It's a good track. It's a good event. If you can make it there, please go. I would just say I'm not sure if the intent between a lot of people asking if we're going to go there. I hope that when we return, that there's not people trying to start drama, because I want the spectators to have a good time and enjoy the show.
I fully expect somebody to try to start shit.
But I hope they don't, because I hope, we can just all be there to race, and that's what it's for. But such is life.
If at we're trying to read these, they're coming through, but if at some point, like, if we're not being loud enough, or if we're hard to hear, let us know. It. Maybe let us know a few times to hopefully we can catch it.
Yeah.
I'm dyslexic, half stupid, and
you don't have your hearing aids in either.
Hell no.
Is the
we've just got, there's only like a couple comments that come up on there at a time. So
yeah. Is the NX injection worth compared to the plates?
Huh? As far as going direct port, is that what you're asking?
John.
John Goodman. As far as going to the direct port, or Fogger is what I just call it, Fogger. But the direct port, I believe it's worth it, because you can tune individual cylinders to what they want, and there's always there's always at least one cylinder that's a bastard on an engine. I don't know of any engines that are like they're exactly the same. There's always one that's a pain in the butt. So my view on that is yes, and that is one of the reasons why I went away from the plate and went to the Foggers.
Milan, we plan to get there at least once this year. We try to do every year.
Try to go at least once a year. It's inevitable. If there's a bad lane, I'm going to get it. And I seem to get that bad lane at Milan. Every time I go, some people get down both of them just the same. Like, there's not a bad lane there for them. I don't really know of too many that are like that, but I have heard that from a couple people that they go the same down both lanes. For me, in 2 different cars, 3, Malibu was there too.
Yeah.
But in at least 2 different cars, the left lane's worse for me. Like, I have problems getting down the left lane.
We would love to try to make it back up to, is it Lucky's Drag City in PA?
Lucky Drag City, yeah.
Yeah, we would love to try to make it back up there this year. That's a great little track. Enjoyed our time there.
That's a tricky surface.
It's a tricky surface. We would like to try to make it up there. I kind of have stuff written out for the year. Some of it subject to change. The ones that we mentioned earlier are, we will be there unless something changes with weather or the car. But I do have a few others on the list that I'm just not mentioning because we're just not ready to post it all yet.
That's me.
It's him. It's all him.
Yeah, I don't want to put a list out there of all the races that we plan to go to, and there's a lot of them that's subject to change. So,
but it's a heavy list, and
realistically, like, if we've got a race that's 7 hours away and we posted up that we're going to go to it, and then one pops up closer, but it's the same money to win or same chances, odds, whatever you want to call it, like it's wiser for us to go to the one that's closer, and that's just the financial side of how we have to race.
It is wiser, but every so often you'll see us like go to Alabama where we've never been before, just to reach out there.
I love traveling to race. It's just being able to afford to travel to race, and some. I mean, there's some people on here that they are racing as well and have families and little jobs and all that. I mean,
they get it.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And like you said, you've been gone for the past 3 weekends. I mean, we were in Alabama, and then he was in Louisville, and then he just got back from Indianapolis, and he drove all 3 of those weekends, all weekends long. And he does not drive well unless he's in a race car.
I don't even drive well in a race car. Just point and go.
Some would beg to differ, but Mike won't ride with you anymore, so you lost him. You scared him in the RV.
I think the RV trip scared Mike.
Mike's our lineup guy, in case you guys didn't know. But we've been friends with him for
it's kids.
Yeah, kids. So let's see here. Any recommendations on getting into no prep on a budget? Get parts from friends. Race locally. Conquer that first.
I think the big thing is you got to ask yourself, how competitive do you plan on being early?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the original car was built off of all used parts. A lot of them were broke that I had to get fixed or fix.
Or made payments on to friends.
Yeah, I'm making payments on a set of heads now. I wasn't able to get them over the winter, but I'm still making payments on a set of heads that I wanted on the car this year and couldn't get it done. So we've still got the old welded up heads that Tim Brown welded up. Done a phenomenal job. Like, it's running very well. I didn't realize the heads were that bad off. But yeah, I'm still making payments on parts and figuring out as we go how to try to step the game up. So figure out where you want to be starting off, and then how fast you want to progress, and what your budget is. Basically, balling on a budget is different for everybody. So if you've got a larger budget and you don't have to have the struggles of starting at the rock bottom and then progressively going up, and you can actually start off with a decent piece, I mean, I think you're going to find yourself probably in the top half a lot faster.
I also find, like, with you talking to a lot of people when they start out, is that, you know, a lot of times when people are building cars, they switch companies who are helping them, and sometimes it's almost as if there's too many hands in the cookie jar for your car.
If you're gonna have somebody, if you're gonna go to somebody for help, stick with them, I guess, and I guess use them for what your money's paying them for.
Unless there's an issue and you can't, obviously.
Yeah. I don't know if that 100% answered your question, but
yeah.
My recommendations is don't get in it to try to make a living. Very few people get to do that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't chase sponsors either. We spent a few years doing that.
I tried to get sponsors and couldn't get one. And then finally said, hell with it, we'll just do what we can do with what we got. And hell, one year, I think I won every race I went to and couldn't get a sponsor because the car was ugly. I get it. Everybody wanted pretty cars then. But, yeah, we had more opportunities come whenever we wasn't out trying to get them.
Yeah. Once you just focus on your program and what you want to do and just have conversations with people at the track, you never know who you're going to talk to, who you're going to meet. Somebody that just looks like an average day spectator might be a sponsor there, just checking out racing. Yeah. So don't discredit anybody at all. Have good conversations.
Nice. Yeah, be nice. Be good to people. I know it's hard sometimes whenever you're busy, and people won't leave you alone. But still, it's they're the reason. You're the reason they're there, and they're kind of the reason you're there.
Are we racing any blocks events this year? I have seen his schedule. I saw that he's going to be at KD one day. I think it's in May. I have to go back and look at the date. I'm not sure if we can make it or not, but
definitely want to.
Would like to try. We love Block. He's a good time.
He's fun.
He's
super fun.
Great with the kids.
If you haven't been to any of his races, maybe go to some of his races.
Yes.
They're different.
They're different.
His rule set's different. The way he does things is different. He's just fun as can be to be around, off the wall, and does crazy shit.
Yep. Love the karaoke. What spark plugs do you run?
NGK, dash 10s, R5671A-10, I believe.
Cade, what car do you race? He just joined.
Huh?
What car do you race?
I have Raggedy Ann, small tire Mustang.
Gumbert says I've rode with him. I can attest to that. Yes, his regular driving. Like I almost had a nervous breakdown when we were coming back from Alabama when we got to Louisville and we were getting on the outer belt. Nobody was letting him over. Well, we're in a truck and trailer doing 60. The lanes are splitting and he cuts off an Amazon driver and there's only room for one car, not a truck and a trailer. So yeah, my nerves were shot. A good 50 minutes. I didn't talk to him after that. I was like livid. I was.
Most of the Amazon vans are wrecked anyway.
Yes, I know, but still, it's. Yeah, he's really trying to convince me to drive the truck and trailer. I'm not there yet.
She's gonna bitch while I'm driving. She can drive.
Yeah, one of these days. Usually I just drive separate and it solves it, but he's getting older and it's harder for him. He falls asleep.
I've managed to drive where?
Everywhere.
All over the place. I managed to drive all over the place and make it home. The only times that well, no, not the only times. But the worst times is whenever she's with me, because we'll just be randomly driving down the road going slightly over the speed limit, and she'll flip out, tense up, grab the door handle, and smash her feet on the floor because somebody got over a quarter mile in front of us.
He gets really close to the person in front of him. Really
That's because
close.
They're driving in the left lane and they're going slow. Move out of the way.
It's all a race.
I just don't like to drive.
I know.
Shorter period of time I can drive, the better.
Yeah. So we've turned down a couple races this season because
you was sizing something up.
Yeah. Our conversation earlier.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we have a couple races we were offered to go to this year, and we had to turn down because Allie's graduating or because of her senior trip. So some of those major invite races you won't see us at because of that reason. We're taking her on Route 66 for her senior trip, and we're going to fly him out because we're not doing the driving thing with him halfway.
I wanted to take the Mustang.
Yeah.
The black car.
Yeah, not in the middle of summer.
What?
Yes. Thanks. Appreciate the new t-shirt designs do look really good. Dylan Large and DRD Visuals did a great job once again with our shirt design. We went back and forth about a couple things, and every time we asked him to add something or we forgot something, he added it on there, and it just kept looking better and better. So
anything we asked for, he just whizzed it in there.
Highly recommend them. Any recommendations for a board guy that's slow? LOL.
We're all slow.
Yeah, you're really slow.
Put nitrous on it.
You're really slow. The rumor has it, anyways. Yeah,
I mean, that's all in a combination. That's everybody. I guess slow is relative to what it is you're doing with it. I've been to some races where we've been really, really, really slow, but we was faster than the other people. So, like I said, slow is relative to the situation, I guess. I like nitrous. So I'm
I
going to
like
say
it a lot.
put nitrous on it. Or if you got nitrous, put a lot more on it.
Yeah.
4
or 5 kids.
But in the same sense, we're trying to get a turbo car together. So once that comes together, I don't believe I will ever step away from nitrous. I know the Raggedy Ann car had. There is no plans at all of it ever not being nitrous. But the turbo car is liable to have some nitrous on it too. We'll see how it works out. Yeah. If I can ever get it together.
Carl Massey. Great to see us both on the live. Met us in Mexico this past fall. We hope to be returning to Mexico one day here shortly. So hopefully y'all get to see some of that.
Right. I can't even see it.
Okay. Did you weld your axle tubes yourself? If so, any particular way?
No. I did not. I got this rear end, it was already done. I would not recommend just welding the axle tubes, because when you weld, it does pull the metal. You got to do what you got to do though. Like, I welded her axle tubes in her car, just welded them up, hanging on the lift.
Thanks. Now I know.
I did that back whenever you wouldn't drive it. It's been like that for years.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But
keep asking questions.
to
More
be
stuff's
fine.
going to come out.
It seems to be fine. But no, I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do it. I mean,
should you?
If you've got a rear end jig or whatever, if you can get it in one of those to do all the welding. As if you're putting like control arm brackets on, if you're doing anything, it should all be, I guess, mounted solid or in a jig or whatever, just in case something pulls. But yeah, you can do it. Many people have.
Jerry with Bunker Hill might be able to.
Yeah, Jerry can weld anything.
Yeah, Jerry with Bunker Hill Fabrications can weld anything. So he would be your man to ask about that.
Yeah.
Mark Booth wants to race Billy and his dad, and you race the Ford truck against Ford truck, and you can both be nitrous.
Oh, what?
Cool.
Who's racing what?
He wants to race Billy and his dad.
Oh, okay.
That's a good goal to have.
Yeah, that'd be
They
exciting.
keep getting faster just like everybody else.
Yeah, you ain't getting a virgin. I mean, they know how to race. I promise they don't like to lose, just like anybody else don't like to lose.
Oh, Paul. I hope you got moved okay. Yeah, we were hoping to see you too. We heard that you were going to try to get out, but yeah, the rain is kind of a big deciding factor for a lot of people, and the fact, like I said, we just took Allie for an MRI today. She's been battling an injury for a couple weeks, and we haven't really got the results out on that one yet. And her birthday, which is a big one, is turning 18 this week, and she said she didn't want to do anything, but we kind of feel.
She don't want no party, but like, who has an 18th birthday without a party, or at least doing something stupid and crazy?
So that's just kind of where we are. But hopefully, when we get back down there, we can get you over there and we can see you again. That'd be good. Let's see, Decker Boys, April 4th. Do you want to?
It's in the air. I mean,
they're prepping the whole thing, light prepping it.
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah,
we talked about that.
Yeah, we did.
Probably not gonna.
You want to go there because of that reason. No. You know, if you can go and that's your type of thing, go for it.
I'm not trying to race on light prep, nothing like that. Like, I have to change a lot of shit on the car to be able to go down something of that nature. At least I think. I don't know, because I've not tried it really with this car much.
It's just preference. And there's other races scheduled that day that are more in our category, so that's kind of where we are with that.
Basically, at one time, like, I would race on 3 or 4 different surfaces in a weekend and change the car over and all that, and I'm like, pretty much by myself whenever it comes to that, and it's a lot of work. So I'm trying to just stick with leave it and get it the best that I can on one surface, and then maybe go to another one. So I still don't have things to experiment with. I guess just trying to leave the car alone and quit touching it so much. It's kind of where I'm at. So.
It's been working well so far until it doesn't. Are you going to be racing my car this season?
Who's my car?
Mine.
Ask her.
It's always a conversation on,
I plan on it. That's kind of why I made it so that she can drive it around daily and I can have fun in it.
So yeah, you might see that one out there.
Right now, the 4L80 is built. Can't wait to get it in. We're trying to figure out how to get the converter. I've got to get a converter so I can get the 4L80 in it. At that point, once the 4L80's in it, and then I'll have to change over the ECU. It's got a Terminator X in it. I've got a Terminator X Max for it, so I have to put that in it to control the transmission. But once all that stuff's done, like, the car should be 100% streetable, drive it anywhere. Doesn't have AC on it, but it does have full leather interior, power windows, power seats. I mean, it's a complete car. Like, I drive it with the power glide. I put a lot of miles on that car with the power glide. It just revs real high. Going down the road at 70, 75 mile an hour. So get the 4L80 in it. Like I said, it should effortlessly make trips. And still hopefully be pretty quick. Tim's Transmissions built the 4L80 for it, and I'm excited to see what it'll do. Can't wait. So yeah, I'm sure I'll be racing it.
Let's see here. The next race that we're going to be back at in Ohio, I can't say 100% sure. But I think would probably be May 24th, 25th, just because we're already off that weekend because of Allie's graduation. So we're limited on what races we can go to, and I know there's a Midnight Madness at KD that weekend, so we might hit up that. I think that's the next one in Ohio that we would probably be at. Yes, we are going back to Arm Drop Nation this year, and as long as the car and weather permitting, we will do that every year.
Yeah, it's not. That race isn't about, I guess, the win or the race. It's about the meaning.
Yeah, it's about doing it for Kent and Prestonburg and that area and helping.
Yeah, that'll be on the schedule every year.
Every year. How many changes do you have to make to run on Brown County because they know the track gets really good? I'm hoping they scrape it for spring.
Scrape it. You can scrape a track, but before first round's up, it's super good again. I haven't really made good passes there, so I don't know. It's all a shot in the dark and a guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta. There's a lot to do with shock adjustments, ballast, and then the power management side of it. So I don't know a whole lot about bar angles. I'm sure I could change the bar angles to make it work better there, but I don't know what I would want to try, not being on a surface like that, to try stuff. Because like, if you're in a race there, you're not allowed on it. So you're not allowed to test there like throughout the year or whatever if you're going to race one of the races. So I really don't know. I got some guesses that might work or should work. So it's kind of where I'm going to leave that. I just don't know, especially with this car.
Okay, we're caught up on messages. That's good.
Go back through maybe something that we missed.
I don't think we missed any. Gumbert's telling us about races that Block's doing on April 6th. I think somebody mentioned one on May 4th. So, do you what's that?
She does the scheduling. I don't know what the schedules are, what we got to do.
Well, we did, print out the master race schedule, and we went down through, and I was like, okay, this one or that one, this one or that one, this one or that one, and then we had to go back to our personal calendar and see what Allie had, or if we had something else going on with the families, and then it changed again, and then some of our sponsors wanted to know what 2-day races we would be at, so then we had to make a list for them, and then we went back as we, found out that Decker Boys was going to be light prep, or this one was having a beam at the finish line, and we looked at what else was going on, even though it was further away, or it was a place that we hadn't been to yet, then we switched them. So it has already changed twice since the beginning of the year. It could change again.
So we've only been to one race so far?
Yeah.
It's already changed twice.
What's your thought on a Turbo 400 behind a 408? What adapter, kit, or plate?
I don't know what adapter kit. As far as to put the Chevy transmission behind the Ford, I know they've got them, but I've never used it. Like, I've always had the bell housing to go on the transmission, and then it just bolts up. And that was with the stock case Clyde and the aftermarket case Clydes. So yeah, I really don't know on that. So, yeah, I can't answer. I can't answer your question. Sorry. But there are kits, like I'm sure you can Google it. I tried to buy a transmission once that had an adapter on it, and ended up not being able to get it. I don't know what brand it was or anything like that, though.
Okay. While we're waiting for everybody else to catch up on questions, I have a question for you. So
It wasn't me.
So there's been a lot of talk this year, particularly about draggy times, about racers working together, about sharing draggy times, and all that other stuff. I have my own personal feelings about it. How do you feel about draggy times and sharing them? And
I don't share my draggy time. I don't know that I've showed my draggy to anybody ever.
Yeah.
I have told my times. They have been believed and they have not been believed. Doesn't matter to me either way. But it's only been to a couple people. So I'm not a fan of sharing draggy times. I feel like if you're going to race draggies, what's the point in even having the race? The faster guy doesn't always win. There's a lot of variables there in an actual pass, opposed to just going off of your fastest time of the day or whatever. So I'm not a fan of it.
Sorry, I'm trying.
That messed it up, didn't
I
it?
didn't know. I'm sharing because somebody said they couldn't see it. I'm good.
Alright, what else?
I just feel like the young one, we're not that we're old, but we're mid-40s. The younger ones are really adamant about my draggy time went this.
Well, a lot of people race dyno numbers too.
Yeah.
They got that big dyno number, and that's law, and it's not. But
yeah, it's who can get down the surface.
There's just a lot of variables.
Yeah.
So. I don't know that any two draggies are actually the same. I've always just used mine. Or how close they actually are to each other, I guess.
The motor in your car, is it a small block for a Ford or Chevy?
Small block Ford. It's a Windsor-based stroker.
Did did we see Ryan and Kai the other night after they won the event? No. We both work a lot, and then, just things with Allie, and we've been trying to put together a video for you guys too, so we haven't kept up on a lot on everybody else's stuff.
Yeah.
I did earlier watch Tin Soldiers a little bit about Jeff, and just want to shout out congratulations to him on purchasing Brown County.
Yeah.
I know he's been working on that for a long time. That's a great thing. So just wanted to say that we did get to catch a little bit of that. But yeah, we haven't got to see a whole lot about what everybody else is doing. It's just hard for us to keep up on that because we're so focused on what we have going on and what we're doing.
Most of doing normal life.
Yeah.
To be able to sit around and, I guess, watch other races on the phones or whatever. I mean, down the road, maybe we'll get to it just whenever we got time. I'll be on my phone, it'll pop up or whatever, and I'll watch some of them. But as far as sit down and actually watching whole races, it takes a long time to do that.
How do you feel about the short?
It's a heart.
Yeah, sorry.
What?
Block Ford trip focus.
Huh?
Read that question.
About the small block Ford trip high court heads. That is what I'm making payments on. So hopefully, hopefully they're good. I know that they're still a front runner. Like there's some really, really, really fast small block Fords with the trip flow high ports on them. So that's one of the reasons why I went with it. The other, I mean, it's still a 20-degree head. If something does happen and I need a piston and can't get one, like I can go get a piston for it somewhere. But they're still making big power. Mm-hmm. It's an older design, older head, but they still make you can make a bunch of power with them. So I am a fan at this point of the high port. Hopefully, once I'm running them, I'm a bigger fan. Yeah, I'm running the Trick Flow R heads now with a ton of work done to them.
Yeah, and we're kind of like on borrowed time with those right now.
Like every combustion chamber has been welded up in them.
So if they make it through the season, great. If not, then we're gonna have to adjust. So
they make them through the season. I'm gonna take them off, try to sell them. I don't even know what to get out of them, but I mean they're doing really good right now.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't even be talking about it because something could happen.
Damn sure shouldn't say anything.
Yeah, no. It's been pretty good.
Good job to Tim Brown at Brown's Racing Service on that one.
Yeah, if you guys watched the video on that, that was awesome.
He worked his ass off on those heads.
He was cussing you and he was done and everything. Yeah. Gumbert says you need the heads off of Dad's engine, LOL.
Why not just put the whole engine in my car? Ain't no sense in splitting it up.
Yeah.
Are we missing?
CJ, no, we're not missing. Okay, we're caught up. So, you asked me a question earlier this year. You want to kind of go over that? About me being on the starting line?
What about it?
And seeing you, Willie?
I don't remember the question. I was trying to read when you just said that, so I didn't catch anything that you said.
He asked me after he did the Willie at War in the Woods what it was like for me, or what was running through my mind when I'm on the starting line watching him go down and that happens. Do you remember the conversation?
I don't remember the conversation. I remember asking some of that.
And I told him, I don't know, I know he can drive.
If I remember right, you just,
I was like, I'm videoing. I'm trying to get it on the video so I don't get yelled at it later. But really, I know I'm confident in how he drives. My concern is when he goes up like that, is okay when he comes down, are we going to break anything, or are we going to have to repair it?
She's concerned if I'm going to break any parts. You're not worried about me?
So, I know he's good.
Takes me back to the old memory.
Oh, shut up.
If you're going to die,
do it quietly. Because of one time, that's what happens when you don't let me go to sleep. I go to evil.
Jesus.
But it's kind of like that. Everybody has their little. At the end of every racing season, starts like in September. Everybody gets in this funk of a mood where.
Not really.
Yeah, you do, because you did it.
People live in warm weather that keep racing, don't.
No, because you did it, and we were still racing, and you were in a funk one day at a race. But
that's a lot of races.
No, one you were really bad at. But it's like, okay, did I accomplish what I wanted to accomplish this season? Am I going to get what I want to get done? Am I going to make it through? Everybody gets in like this mood at the end of the season where they're grumpy. And for me, I'm not a racer, so I don't have that part of it. But I do deal with, like, every year I'm on that starting line and I hear people make little comments here and there. And you just, have spent all year trying not to let it get to you. And then by the end of the year, one person says anything, and then it's like explosion. So it's a whole racing thing.
So you're letting everybody know that they can get to you?
No. But
I think it's what she just said.
Yeah. You were grumpy too, and I've seen other racers do it too. It's like for September, October.
I'm trying to say I don't
everybody
get
gets
grumpy or pissed off at a race. 100% I do, especially when I'm trying to figure something out and it's not going well.
CJ replaceable. Parts cost money.
CJ is replaceable?
I'm your replaceable, CJ. Parts cost money.
Facts. Who said that?
No.
Who said that?
Matt RN.
100%.
Matt. Wheelies are underrated. Everyone needs to experience a bumper grind at least once. Yep.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And if it wins you some go-home money, then it wins you some go-home money.
Hey, Willie's has sometimes been the only way we came home with money. Damn sure wasn't from the racing.
And it makes for a really good photo or video.
Anymore, it seems like everybody's wheeling now.
Yeah, lots of power. Or lack of power management. Yeah.
Well, for the longest time. Sorry. For the longest time, like, if I didn't have enough power in mine, it would wheelie.
Okay, we got a question. I'll get to the question. Hello from Arkansas. I hope I say your name right. Is it Daryl Allen? We did get your letter. Thank you. Appreciated the story. We'll send you something back. We did get that, so. Let's see. What size small block?
Appreciate all that you've done in your life.
Yes.
Thank you.
The story was, we enjoyed hearing it. Small block and make is in the twin turbo car.
I gotta hold it a lot closer. You're pointing at it like I can read it.
I'm reading it to you, sorry. What size small block and what make is the twin turbo car?
It's a 427 small block Ford and the Raggedy Ann car. And the twin turbo car is a 1989 Mustang Fox body coupe.
And how hard do you think the learning curve will be from nitrous to turbo in the fuel tech setup? Good question.
I don't know. Probably really hard. I haven't figured out how to get it together in 6 years. So. I would say once I'm probably going to shoot myself in the foot. I think once we're down to just once the tuning and everything's good, and we're just down to power management, I think I'll be fine. Um, I should be able to pick up on that pretty quick. The rest of it, who knows? I'm along for the ride though, so I can't wait to find out. Like I would really like to get that car done and get it out. Like I said, it's been 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
6 years trying to get this thing together, and it just hasn't happened. I've got a lot of parts for it at this point. Still need a good bit, but I've got just I want to downsize the turbo, so I'm not building the turbo kit, and that's a big setback. So once I get turbos, excuse me again, once I get the turbos that will fit where I want them, the smaller turbos, I'll be able to build the hot side, the cold side, or build the headers, the hot side, the cold side. Realistically, be able to start wiring it, get the fuel pump on it. I mean, there's a whole bunch that I can do once I figure out where I'm putting those. So yeah, I'm not. I don't know what the learning curve is going to be like, but I can't wait to get started and find out.
And as far as tuning your car, there's no phoning a friend, right? You do that all on your own.
Oh, with that car, it's not going to be like Garrett's speed dial, text speed dial with the fuel. I've still got a lot of questions with the fuel tech. I don't know like everything that it can do, so I do get a hold of people and ask.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they're not somebody. You're not at the racetrack and you're not on the phone with somebody and saying, well, okay, what tune do I put in it?
No, I'll look at a surface and figure that out once I learn the car. As far as tuning the car, I don't know how to tune the fuel injection. The fuel tech class did go over a lot of that, but as far as being a tuner and stuff like that, I am not. So I will be leaning on somebody on that aspect.
Mm-hmm. I'll let you read that comment because I will butcher it. That one. Get out your old man glasses.
Well, you're pointing in the middle too, so we'll go with the middle one. Oh well, is your small block Ford high RPM? Just curious. We built my big block in 1989. Bob Glidden designed for us. Hall Racing in Sweeney, Texas. Check out some of why. John Goodman. Talk to me, buddy.
So, about the short block.
Depends on high. I don't swing it like 9,000 RPMs. It'll go 8,500. I typically try not to take it to 85. It'll probably go 9,000 RPMs. Pretty easy, honestly. I try not to take it to 85 just because the engines, honestly, aside from rings, 7 years, going on 8 years, 7-8 years that thing's been together, and I believe a lot of it is because I'm not swinging it way high. I'm not really being abusive to it, and still doing well. So we try to take it easy on the parts because realistically we can't afford to fix it. If I blow it up, I'm screwed for a while. But as far as high revving, depending on what you're talking about, yeah, it'll rev. It will probably go to 10,000 if I spun it there. I don't know if it's going to make any kind of good power, but it will go to 85 and still make good power.
When are you going to bring out the big block Chevy boy? Melvin? Are they referring to Melvin?
Yeah, define what we're talking about there.
Mike Sparks. When are we going to bring out the big block Chevy boy? We had posted a picture on Facebook for those of you that didn't know of CJ's Malibu.
So, I'm a small block guy. Always have been. Never been able to afford a big block. I have been curious about big blocks, but was never able to, I guess, get that involved in one. So anything I have right now is small block. Anything I've had in the past has been small block. The Malibu is a small block Chevy. Her car is an LS and a '95 Mustang, and then my cars are small block Fords. Or the twin turbo cars are small block Ford, and Raggedy Ann cars are small block Ford. Um, yeah, we don't have anything with a big block in it.
What size tires do we race on?
28, 10, 5. So 28, 10, 5. I run Hoosiers a lot. I haven't been able to really, in the past several years, try the Mickey Thompsons. I know a lot of people run on Mickeys on certain surfaces and Hoosiers on certain surfaces and stuff like that. But I've just stuck with the Hoosier because I know kind of how it's going to work. I haven't really been able to have several different sets of tires and just test. So.
What size are the turbos? The ones you're taking off or the ones you won't know?
The ones I'm taking off. So I've got two 4718R Garrett mid-frame 88 millimeters, and I want to get like somewhere around a 76, a smaller body. And what I want to do is I want to be able to fit them like behind the strut tower and in front of the firewall, like kind of over top of the valve cover. But I still need to be able to get the valve cover off because it's got a solid roller in it, so I'm going to be running the valves and all that stuff often. It's got to be workable and still work. So I'm thinking like a smaller, a mid, just a smaller turbo. That two of them will still make 2,500 plus horsepower.
Okay. Are you going to be running Fuel Tech on the turbo car as well? If we can afford it.
Really didn't want to have to talk about that. Good question.
But we've been dancing around that one. If we could afford it.
I would like to have Fuel Tech on it, yes.
That would be the ideal.
I have already bought a whole Holly setup before Fuel Tech ever came around for it. That's my dilemma. Is to try to get rid of the Holly and put a Fuel Tech on it, because at this point I know a lot more about Fuel Tech than I know about Holly. Mm-hmm. I'm happy as can be with the Fuel Tech. Can't complain at all. They called me today. I called, left a message because I didn't get through, and no, that's a lie. I called and they answered, transferred me, and I had to leave a message, and they called me right back. So I would love to put Fuel Tech on it. We're going to see how it works out when the time comes, because I do already have, it's all sitting in boxes, all brand new in a box, the whole Holly setup. So we will see how it goes.
Okay, let you read that question.
What's that question?
The one
that's what you did.
Will you stop picking on me? We're gonna get you some better glasses. We already got you hearing aids.
I can see
it's
it.
It's the only question that's on there. Nope. Don't scroll down. Leave it where
it went up.
Yeah.
So are we talking about this one?
No,
about
this because one? That's not a question.
Talking about this
that's one. A statement. That's a question.
I didn't read them all. 2810.5. What is your thoughts about mounting them on double beadlock 15-inch wide wheels? That is wide. There are some people that do it. I feel like, personally, it depends on the surface you're on. If you're on a good tight surface, you don't really need the sidewall, I guess in my eyes, I'm going to say, to give as much. So I don't think it would be that big of an issue. I think it would work out fine on a radial or something like that. I don't have a whole lot of experience on radials. For me personally, I wouldn't want to put them on a 15-inch wide wheel. I've got 12-inch wide double bead locks that I absolutely hate. Love the wheel, hate to change tires on it because they suck. But me personally, I think that's too wide. That's to be direct and answer the question. I just feel like the sidewall is going to be going at like a 45-degree angle out to the wheel. Like I said, depending on the surface, it may work good. If you haven't tried it, try it. I would love to know how it works out.
Okay, we're caught.
What?
Swaying is a big problem in some cases.
Swaying with them blowed out on a 15-inch wheel, is that what you're saying? I would think that would tighten that up. I know my car got to swaying real bad down in Alabama. In that second pass, the second round, it was swaying really bad. And I don't know what caused that, because the first pass and the third pass it didn't have no sway at all in it. I don't know what caused it to do that. It just got to swaying real bad.
I remember you mentioned that to Mike, so.
I don't know if I hit, because the left lane, it's got a couple big transitions, bumps, whatever you want to call it, dips. So I don't know if I maybe hit one of them and it just started throwing it, but it never did come out of it until I hit the brakes.
At Lassiter Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Swaying on 12 wide rims.
Okay. I haven't, like I said, it did down there at Lassiter, but it was only the second round. Up until then, like, I haven't had any sways out of this car on the 12-inch wide wheels. I've got, last year, I had the double bead locks and single bead locks on it. It didn't have any sway. Now the old car, for whatever reason, it swayed. It had a lot. It would get to swaying pretty good. So I don't know why this car is just so much tighter, and it's way easier to drive than the old car.
Who do you like when it comes to roller rockers?
All I've ever had, as far as on the higher scale, is Jezel. I haven't had any T&D or any of the other ones, so I really don't know on that. I haven't had any real issues out of the Jezels. I mean, I've run the Crane, I've run the Harlan and Sharps, I've run Scorpions, I've run a lot of the lower end ones and never had any issues out of those either. But Jezels that's on it now, I've had since I built the engine, and I think they were used whenever I got them. They put them on there. I'm pretty sure they were used as well, and I've really had no issues out of them. So I can't say a bad word about Jessel. The turbo engine has Jessel on it also.
Gumbert said comps are good too.
Comps are good. Yeah, I've run comps. I'm trying to think of what the Malibu has on it. I can't remember what's on it. It may have like a comp rocker. It's either comp or Harlan and Sharp or something like that on the Malibu. And that engine's been together forever. It's been a long time it's been together.
Okay, I think we're all caught up. We've been on here about an hour. What goals do you have for this year?
To make it till next. I want to win a big race. That is like a goal.
Define big race, because we've been to some pretty big races.
We got the arm drop race last year, and was able to win 2 classes. That was actually the 2 big boy classes too. But I want to win a big race. I want to win a big race.
Does it?
Like Dig or Die. War in the Woods is out of the question, but something of that caliber. We're not winning War in the Woods. We're going just to support. Um,
Tyler says a Wally. Does it
a what?
a Wally? Would it mean something to you to win a Wally since you have the Kent Rose ones?
I would love. I do want to win a Wally. I would love to win a Wally.
I know.
Only a couple races that has them though.
He mentions these things periodically that he's never done or he's never experienced that, and I'm kind of making mental notes in my head, and I do my best to try to make that achievable the way I can on picking races or kind of nudging him that maybe we should go to this one. He said the other day he's never gotten one of those big cardboard checks.
Yeah, I know. I want a big ass cardboard check.
So you gotta have goals, right?
Gotta have that hanging in the garage or in the trailer or something. It's almost like having a big gold chain.
Yeah. Is there anybody that you want to beat, or is it there's just a track that you want to conquer?
So, like, the main people that I want to beat is anybody that sits next to me. There's no one individual person.
Yeah, and
I just want to beat everybody that I have to.
And that surface
to achieve the goal that we've set out for. And we're not going to beat everybody. I know that. We're still going to try and have a good time and whatnot. So.
How do you feel about people wanting to beat you? Like, do you feel like it's an ego thing that they want to feed their own ego? Or do you feel like they just want to beat you? Because, like, I know last year when Ryan McCoy beat you down at Katy, he was just ecstatic. And it was just awesome to see that because he watches the channel. He's a fan.
He's a supporter.
And he was just so excited to beat you. I was happy about that. I mean, I've never been happy about him getting beat, but just to see Ryan's joy was just so awesome. So how do you feel about people wanting that you're their objective? They want to beat you.
It's inevitable. There's no getting around it. You're gonna, and it's racing. Like, you're gonna have anybody that's sitting next to you or anybody that draws you wants to beat you. You can be best friends, but he's gonna do his best or she's gonna do her best to beat you on the track. It's just the way it is. So for somebody to have a goal to beat me, like that, honestly makes me feel good. I won't feel good if they do beat me, but I'll accept it. I mean, it is what it is. It's racing.
Yeah, because I think,
if you can win everything, it'd be called winning.
Billy and Tommy's raced you. Sherm Baker's raced you. You've raced Hong. I don't think you've ever beat Hong.
I've never beat Hong.
So, but I mean, Sherm's beat you. You beat Sherm. You beat Tommy now, as of last year once. Yeah. So, but mostly Tommy's beat you.
When he was beating me, he kicked the shit out of me time and time again. We had to line up all the time. I beat him one time we race all season.
Yep. So, I mean, it just goes back and forth. But I'm sure that people that are wanting to beat you to feed their ego, it's going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread when they beat you.
Is that feeding is it feeding their ego for me to be a goal for them to beat because they look up to me?
I don't.
Would that be?
No. Not the ones I'm talking about, anyways.
Oh, okay. Those ones. Yeah. Feed some knuckle sandwiches.
No, I mean, there's just... I don't think you guys understand that there's some... I'm not saying...
Haters are going to hate.
But, I mean, there's people that's building cars just to beat him. It's just... It's kind of like... It's a lot of money to spend just to beat one person.
It's not just to beat one person. I mean, it's a goal, I guess. I don't even know how to look at that. Like, you don't build a car just to beat one person. You build a car to be able to beat one person because one person is doing well. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the way I would look at it.
I like that. Does our winnings, your winnings, go back into the car, or do you put it toward the turbo car? Well, you want to go over winnings last year and what we did with it? You want me to?
So far, they have went back into the car or the program.
The nitrous car.
Yeah, not the turbo car.
I will tell you that every time he wins a race, he offers to spread some of it out with the crew. Very rarely do they ever take anything but a dinner.
They haven't taken anything yet.
Yeah. But we do offer every time that we've won this year.
So we try to keep some money put aside, so if we travel, if we go on a trip, we're able to put, you know, if we can pay for the hotel or if we can pay for the Airbnb, try to make it easier on everybody. Most of the time, I mean, it's all went back into the program in some way, whether it be parts for the car, fuel, tires, bought the 32-foot trailer.
Or merchandise. Yeah, the trip buying the other trailer was took the last chunk of the money.
We didn't have any money after that for the racing program. So the idea was to fix my 28-foot trailer and sell it, which we're still using. We didn't get it fixed and sold. So that was kind of the budget killer. If I can ever get around to getting that taken care of, I thought I had it sold unfixed and kind of got the runaround on that. So my time passed on the guys that were going to do all the re-site it and all that shit. So it is still unsighted. And that was pretty much it. Like, we got a lot more of the fuel tech stuff. We got another set of beadlocks. I actually got the ones that were on the car when I wrecked, got those fixed.
Yeah. And I know, like, the waffles that we do online, a lot of that it pays for merch or new ideals that we have for merch. To get a shirt designed, it's anywhere from just the design for a shirt nowadays is anywhere from $250 to $350, and then you have to go pay the setup fee. Whoever you're going to have make the shirts, that's usually another $200 to $300, and then to have the shirts made, if you buy a bulk of those, you have to do that. So, and then fuel or tires or entry fees. It just all goes back into the program.
Let's be real. Diesel fuel's not cheap.
No.
Like, to go travel to a race, it takes a chunk. But you can win a good bit throughout a season and still not break even.
Yeah.
It's expensive to race.
Yeah, it is.
That goes kind of back to that budget build thing earlier this evening that was asked. What's the budget? To put it kind of quite frank, if we don't win, we can't keep racing unless it's something local. If there's not money coming in, we can't afford to keep racing.
Yeah.
You go out and put 10 to 12 passes on a set of tires, that's $550 to $600. What do I have? Almost $500 in fuel going to Alabama.
Yeah.
A set of tires, fuel, the Airbnb, then race fuel and nitrous. I mean, an oil change is $120 some.
Yep. This is not our house. We are currently in the RV because if we was gonna go in the basement in the house, but the internet and there's not so good.
Service.
Our house is metal. It's a pole barn, so service is spotty, and the same within the barn.
Let's go to the barn.
So
that's
what
where we
did
did
the
last
RV?
time. Don't have any service.
He just wants to know he's right. You feel better?
Barely have any service in the house anymore, like in the front room by the window.
Yeah, ever since
in the RV, we've got service.
Yeah, we got service, so here we are. Okay. Like I said, we're about the RV is the race cave is the RV. Yes, it is, and I tell you what, even though we've been Airbnb-ing lately, I do miss the comforts of having the RV at the track, being parked in one spot, being able to wake up and just set merch out. It is a very nice added feature having the RV at a track with us.
Absolutely.
So we have a few more races that we're going to Airbnb this year. Just it helps the crew out, and it helps give them a place to stay. And if we're not if we're traveling further away and we don't have the kids with us, we just usually take the truck. So we have a couple more Airbnbs, and then we're going to be back in the RV.
And anything through the mountains.
Yeah, the RV. He's not confident.
I'm not sold that it'll make it through the mountains. It's going to pull the trailer through the mountains because it's a 5.9 Cummins. They don't have the big engine in it, but it pulls well, and it's really not hard on fuel. I just don't want to get caught with my pants down. Basically, try to drag that trailer through the mountains and it break down.
How does the car feel with the fresh motor in it?
I really don't know. Like, it sounded. I thought the first pass, it sounded like I heard it. I could hear the pass, and it just sounded good as hell. But somebody said that it popped. I didn't see it in any of the data. They said that it popped, and then in the finals, it popped twice, and then kind of did a flutter. But it seems to be good. It's powerful. It's got power. I think a lot of that was the tune because I didn't get any testing, so I went super safe on everything. Like, it's fat with no timing in it, and it's probably really fat and very little timing. So until I actually get the test, I don't know.
He says hopefully they will get to hold an event down there in Georgia that we'll attend. I will tell you, last year at the end of the year there was a backside or run backwards race down in Georgia that we were kind of looking
South Georgia,
at.
the motorsports park?
I,
Is that the one you're talking about?
I think so. Yeah, it was at the end of the year and we were looking at it, but just because of the close proximity to Dig or Die, the timeline was for that, we financially weren't able to travel down to Georgia and then back home and then back down to Dig or Die. So we had to choose one or the other, and so hopefully that race will be held again this year, and hopefully we'll be able to make it. We do hope to make it to Georgia. Tyler says, what's it like to do wheelies? What's it like to do wheelies?
Well,
what's going through your head when you're
what
up there?
time? The first couple times I about shit myself, and then realistically, I sat it down. Like, I rode one of my first ones. I rode out a little bit, and then it kind of worried me because it was just my first wheelies. Like, it was secondhand for me to look over and see where I was, and whenever I set it down, it slammed down, and that's back when the original car was like newer. So it had damn near brand new set of headers on it, and I smashed the headers. And after that, like I said, I will ride a wheelie down the wall before I smash another set of headers. And that's when I started learning how to ride wheelies. So what went through my head then is, oh shit, I'm never going to do this, or I've never done this. And like, there was a big panic. And now it's like, here we go again. It's hard to explain because so much shit goes through your head so fast that you don't really get to feel the excitement of it. At least I don't anymore. I mean, it's cool to ride wheelies. It's definitely cool for views and the spectators and all that, but 9 times out of 10 a wheelie's not going to win a race. Seldom do you see somebody wheelie and then still be able to win. So yeah, it's super cool to ride a wheelie. You got the whole shit moment and what do I do and all that goes through your head, but you're not gonna. Most of the time, you're not gonna win with a wheelie.
So what do you have to, when your car is up on the bumper, what do you have to do to bring it back down, to set it back down without it?
People do different things. I've, for years, said that when my car starts the wheelie, I'm just going to shift into high. And I never shift into high. I always use my foot. I drive with my foot. I always have. So I feather the gas. Back whenever I was on a micro switch, I would just pull my foot back enough to get out of the nitrous. Usually it would top over, start coming back down, and as soon as it topped over, I would get back on it so it doesn't slam down. There's been several times that I was at that pivot point, so when I got back on it, it would just come back up, come back up. And you got to stay off of it enough to get it to come down. But you don't want to just let off, because then you're shoving the struts up through the strut towers, you're breaking, smashing headers, busting oil pans. I mean, you're breaking stuff. So I try to set my cars down easy. I don't know if that answered your question, but I don't know how to explain it, how it makes you feel. I don't.
Yeah, I've noticed that too about YouTube. It's been unsubscribing people. I've also had a lot of problems with copyright lately, so that's another reason why we haven't been putting out a whole lot of videos. Every month it will copyright our intro song from some person in Russia, and I have to dispute it. And then at the end of the month it'll release them all for the same darn thing. So it is trying to withdraw our funds and hold them. It did it again in February. So what's going to have to happen is when I get a minute, I'm going to have to go back to every single video and switch out the intro song. I already have the music for it. It's a very similar intro music, so you guys won't notice a whole lot of change with it. But that's kind of where we're at with that. Okay. So we're just getting a lot of spam comments right now on here. I'm trying to remove them as they come. Just people spamming the comments. So, but we've been on here about an hour and 22 minutes.
So play a song.
Yeah, that's a spammer. So, anyways, we've been on here about an hour and 22 minutes. Do you have anything that you can think of that we missed?
I'm here for you and you.
So with that, yeah, okay, the intro music. So with that, we'll conclude. We're going to get off the live, but if you feel that you have questions or you're just tuning in, go ahead and ask the questions. We'll come back up and answer them later in the comments. CJ does a really good job at trying to stay up on comments. He slacked off here a little lately.
Yeah, it gets harder and harder. The busier I get, the harder it is to go back and read them all. So there's some that I haven't even replied to, and they're so far back that at this point I may as well not.
Yeah.
So don't not comment because I didn't reply or I didn't like or whatever. I just didn't. I missed it. It's honestly a lot to go back through.
But you do well.
I try.
You do a good job. So yeah, if you would just make sure you're subscribed if you were already, because it does unsubscribe people every so often. Also, if you want to purchase anything Nitrous Express, please feel free to reach out and contact us. We'll help you get that in the works. If you want to purchase it on your own, you can always use the code RA10 for a discount. We still do have the War in the Woods Spectator giveaway going until the end of March. So any piece of original design merch, whether it be a sweatshirt or t-shirt, if you purchase any one of those, it puts you in the entry to win the Spectator giveaway, which is 2 adult passes to War in the Woods, a hotel stay for 2 nights, a food gift card, and a gas gift card. And that could be used for either War in the Woods. So if it's something you're interested in doing, or if you live close to War in the Woods and you want to use the hotel card for somewhere else, you can do that too. But just one piece of merchandise purchased to get you entered in up until the end of March. If you need help finding our store online, just let me know and I can copy it to you in the comments and the links, or you can go to our Raggedy Ann Facebook page and it's also there on that too. So you all have a good evening. We appreciate you tuning in. It might have been a little dry with conversation for some of you, but it's been about 8 months since we did the last one, so we thought we'd just get in here and check in. So
say hi.
Say hi, that we're still here.
So please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family.
Yep. And if we didn't answer your questions on here, we'll go back and look and get them answered for you.
Bye.
Have a good night,
Thanks.
everybody.